Welcome back, it's Rich, and in this episode, Retro Rich looks at my favourite 20 Super Famicom / Super Nintendo games. Here we go, let's do it. So the Super Famicom was a mega exciting console when it was announced in the UK gaming magazines back in the early 90s, with screenshots of Final Fight and F-Zero making us drool. I picked one up on import back then and I absolutely loved it. I felt like $1 million. I actually ended up walking around Morrison's supermarket carrying it and just wanting everybody to see me, just the way it happened when I picked it up from the post office because we were out. But I digress. We eventually got the SNES officially a couple of years later with horrible letterbox borders and a slower 50Hz speed. So the original Super Famicom on import will always be my SNES. So here's my top 20 best games for the system. These are not ranked, just alphabetical. Try and watch in full screen and you'll get proper scan lines for each game, and then I'll try and cover the first stage or few minutes of gameplay for each one too. So first up we have ActRaisers. This early game featured at the time an unbelievable orchestral soundtrack and super side-scrolling action levels mixed with a minimal kind of RPG defense style level, which once mastered was great fun to play. It's proper tough though, but with some patience you can get through it without too much trouble. Next up we have Area 88, the side-scrolling shooter from Capcom, also known as UN Squadron. It's a total blast on the SNES with great graphics and music, features some mega bosses and really good use of parallax scrolling as well, and it's still fun to play to this day. Next up, we have Ko Makaimura. It's the legendary console-only sequel to Ghouls and Ghosts, now with Super in the title. And it's a massively ramped-up difficulty level on this one. I have beat this many times, and really it's all about just remembering everything. It's a memory game, but until you do that, this is hard as nails. It looks and sounds superb, though, and it's one that I got on import back in the day for £65, and that was a lot of money in the early 90s. Next up, we have Contra Spirits, which is a superb follow-up to the original Contra series for the NES and arcade. This console-exclusive version makes great use of Mode 7, and it's blisteringly fast, frantic, and insanely difficult too. But again, once you master this, you can start to get through it. But it's not easy. It's a classic action platformer with tons of variety to it. Next up, we have Donkey Kong Country, the famous rare game that blew everyone away with its rotoscoped graphics and not running on the rumoured Ultra 64 at the time, but on the actual SNES itself. It's great platforming action and it was a completely new take on our kind of monkey friend with his sidekick. It is rock hard though, this game, especially if you want to get through all the secrets, but still fun to play today. Next up we have F-Zero. It's another early release and it took people by storm when they first saw the awesome Mode 7 scaling effects. It was unlike any other racing game at the time and it's still a classic to play even today, with having a recent Switch Online release featuring 99 racers. Great fun when this came out, still fun today. Next, we have the legendary Final Fight by Capcom. This is the king of side-scrolling beat-em-ups and to most was arcade perfect. But it wasn't quite. We know the obvious things like missing guy in a full level, but there's also lots of actual animation frames and other bits missing. But it's still super close, it sounds great, and it was an absolute must-have back in the day. Yeah. 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 Next up we have Ganbare Goemon, or Legend of the Mystical Ninja. This was an awesome action-adventure RPG style game with a quirky Japanese setting and some wonderful music with great bass in it and great side-scrolling arcade levels too. It also included a port of the first level of Gradius to play. I couldn't complete this at first due to the Japanese language and a secret that you needed to read on screen, but once I got the US version, I managed to get through. It's a fantastic game and you should check this out if you've never played it. Gokujo Parodius. This is the Gradius spin-off by Konami and a very late release in the life of the Super Famicom. It's a truly awesome Parodius game though. It's mental as hell with wacky music and a real step up from the original Parodius game, which is also on this list. Fantastic to play even now, and it does show the power how people have got to grips with the SNES at the last of its releases. We have another Konami release, and this is Gradius 3. This was another early release, and it was criticised by some with slowdown. However, emulation sorts this out today anyway. And I didn't care at the time. Gradius is my favourite shoot-'em-up series of all time, so I was super excited to get this into 90s and get it imported on day one. Next up, we have the absolute classic, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. I mean, what else can be said about this one? It's marked as one of the greatest games ever made, and rightly so. It's a mammoth game with a fantastic story and many people's first entry into the Zelda franchise, just like me. It's outstanding in every way, and I would consider it a perfect game. Next on the list is the second Konami Parodius title, and that's the original Parodius. While not quite up there with the much later Gokujo title, it's still an arcade-perfect port, and it blew me away at the time. It was a step up from the PC Engine version 2. The music and graphics are fantastic, and I still play this a few times each year. I absolutely love Parodius. Next on the list was Pilot Wings. This was a launch title and gave us something totally new at the time with the use of Mode 7 and all the scaling. It was a tough game to master though on control, and it is quite a bit clunky to play now, but it's still a classic title and it was super impressive when this was first released, especially jumping out of the plane in the parachute. People really kind of fell for that one, no pun intended. Next up we have Star Fox with the Super FX chip and the 2 new pins at the bottom of the cartridge. It was the first arcade-style popular polygon non-sprite game to be released for home consoles, and it was awesome. I didn't like this the first time I saw it in a shop. It really disappointed me, but then eventually I ended up owning it and I just fell in love with it straight away. It's an awesome game and I love the music in this even today, and I love the little animal speeches for each character in the game too.
Good luck.
Incoming enemy.
Next up, we have the mammothly popular Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo. It's a true classic from Capcom, and it must have sold endless copies, this. It is ultra fast with the playable bosses and perfectly balanced gameplay. The SNES version is pretty much arcade perfect, and it plays just perfectly with super tight controls and zero lag. It's an absolute classic.
USSR. Round one, fight. Hadouken! 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 You win. Perfect. Round two, fight. Hadouken! 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 Shoryuken! Hadouken! 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 You win! India! Round one, fight! Hadouken! 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 Yoda fire! Hadouken! Yoda fire! Yoda fire! Yoda fire! Yoda fire! Yoda flame! Yoda flame! You win! Round two, fight! Hadouken! Yoda fire! Yoda fire! Yoda fire! Hadouken! You win!
Next up, we have Super Castlevania 4. This was SNES' first Castlevania outing, and while the early levels are a little basic, it really starts to shine as the game moves on. The soundtrack throughout, though, is absolutely incredible, with some brilliant tunes in there, and there's great use of Mode 7 again, seeing you through this game. Next up, we have the just simply stellar Super Mario World. I mean, what can we say? Like Zelda on this list, this one, though, is often ranked as the greatest video game of all time. It's an absolutely perfect example of clear, simple fun with a rock-hard challenge and yet simplistic mechanics. It's Nintendo at their finest, and when they do their best, this is where they shine. It's the absolute king of 2D platformers, and again, I would consider this a perfect game in every sense. Next up, we have Super Metroid. This is the Alien-style space adventure on the atmospheric planet with our hero Samus navigating and upgrading her suit, running through tunnels and cabins with all sorts of monsters. It's a colossal game. It takes some time and effort to beat this on your first play, but it's so worth it. This is also one of my favourite games of all time. Absolutely brilliant and blew me away at the time, my first ever Metroid game. Next up, we get Super R-Type. This is the sequel to R-Type and a conversion of R-Type 2 Arcade, but with an extra level thrown in for the SNES. It's full of slowdown, but what the hell, I didn't care at the time, and emulation fixes this now anyway. It was great back then, and because of the hype and buzz around the original R-Type and the PC Engine, this was a big deal when it came out. It was amazing when launched, and it's still a blast to play today too. And finally on my list, I've got Super Tennis. It's one of the only sports games I've ever owned because it's not a genre that I'm really into, but this is just fantastic, and I loved this back in the day. I couldn't believe I paid kind of 50 quid for this at the time, but it was just so good. It seemed so real back then too with the sound effects. I couldn't believe it, and we were playing 2 players on this all the time. It's still fun to play today. It is a classic in my eyes.
Play. Fault. 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 Out. Fault. Fault. Out. Play. Out.
So that's my list of my 20 best Super Famicom games, but there are plenty more classics for this system. I'd love to hear your thoughts too. What are your favourites? Leave a comment below, but until next time, keep smiling, peeps.